With Kenya launching its first open university in 2023 based in Konza, Technopolis, tonight we center our discussion on technology in learning, looking at just how far we've come as a country. And my colleague O'Brien Kimani is in Konza tonight, and he'll be bringing us this conversation. O'Brien.
Doreen Arange, thank you very much back there in Broadcasting House. I want to take you back to the year 2015 when the United Nations convened a meeting in Paris, France. They developed what they called the 17 Sustainable Goals, and goal number 4 was about access to quality education by the year 2030. And we are talking about 5 years from now. And technology was poised to play a significant role in driving access to quality education. And you know what? Technology is accelerating the adoption of technology the world over. And this has actually been aided by technology like artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, big data, and so much. And so tonight, we just want to focus on open education. It's not a new concept, by the way. The University of South Africa was the first institution of higher learning here in Africa to pioneer that concept, and is now catching up with the rest of the world. Kenya started this concept in 2023. And so we're going to discuss this with the Open University of Kenya Vice Chancellor, Professor Elijah Omwenga. He's joining us tonight, live from Konza, Technopolis. Thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And we also have a student who is pursuing her master's in business in technology education. This is Cynthia Katusia. Thank you very much, Cynthia. Prof, help us understand, you've just celebrated your second anniversary in this place. How would you describe the progression of open university concept here in Kenya?
Thank you so much, Brian, for that question. Yes, the concept of open learning or the open university can be traced back to the time when we had distance education or distance learning. And this was a mode which was used to deliver programs to mostly working class people or those who are not able to come to the physical campus. And this dates back to maybe 50 or so years since the establishment of the Royal Technical College, which in Kenya, which was later renamed Makerere with its constituent colleges Dar es Salaam and the University of Nairobi. Then that model has metamorphosized into what we're now calling online learning, and this is within the framework of the open university system or open learning, which is a flexible mode of delivery of instruction where learners don't have to get into a physical space for them to learn. They learn when they have the opportunity to do so. There are no barriers of age, gender, or time, and also it is an affordable mode of learning. And therefore, the open learning concept, or so to speak, open university around the world, they are there to help those who do not have the time to be at the place and time of study synchronously, so that they are able to learn and get education from the comfort of where they are, quality education, by the way, and using curated programs done in such a manner that they stand alone to help the knowledge transfer seamlessly and help the learner to enjoy the learning process. So over the world, the Open University of Kenya is now among the latest universities to be formed, to be established, Among the Commonwealth, we are the 34th, and we earned that certification in a very colorful ceremony in Mauritius, sponsored by the Commonwealth of Learning. But there are about 800 or so open universities around the world.
Very well. And when you look at the open learning concept vis-a-vis the face-to-face classroom, world, or conventional form of education, do you see the issue of cost coming into play? And if yes, by what margins?
Thank you. Yes, one of the objectives of setting up an open university, such as the Open University of Kenya, is to address the issue of affordability. The university established under Section 24(1)(b) of the Universities Act, which states inter alia, there shall be an open University of Kenya to address strategic interests. One of those strategic interests is the issue of affordability, because we realize that many people would wish to have higher education, but because of costs and challenges of affordability, they are not able to access. And therefore, the university has addressed that issue by bringing down the cost to about 1/4 of what the brick and mortar universities charge. And the reason for this is perhaps threefold. First, we don't need the massive physical infrastructure for us to run our programs. Secondly, the massive nature in which we are able to attract students with minimal resources, so long as we have technology in place. And of course, the third and most important is the issue of setup. The infrastructure required to set up an open university is initially high, yes, because of the technology that we put together, because of the programs that we develop that are generally very expensive. But then over time, we are able to meet that cost through massive investment in terms of students' enrollment. However, let me quickly mention that the quality of the Open University of Kenya is just like any other, because of the initial investments in terms of quality programs, highly qualified staff, and the infrastructure that is enabling higher learning to take place at this university.
I want to turn now to Cindy Agatusia, as a student, and I know you're a product of the face-to-face educational model. Now you've transitioned into open learning. How has this transition been for you?
Thank you. I must admit that at the beginning I was a bit skeptical about the whole idea, given that for my undergraduate studies I did experience the traditional classroom setup where it's face-to-face. I have to attend classes, I have a schedule, I have venues to go to. But then again, my experience so far with the Open University of Kenya has been nothing other than seamless and smooth. I like to highlight key aspects for me that have really stood out. First of all, I'd like to mention the way we learn and how we access content. We have a learning management system. Basically, where I'm able to access my content. I can just, through my student portal, I can cross over to the learning management system, and I can go through my various course units. I can access content, and I do not have to worry about perhaps being behind as far as the classwork is concerned, because I'm able to access this content whenever and wherever I want to. Apart from this, we also have the synchronous sessions with our instructors. So I feel like the Open University is not taking away from the face-to-face setup, but it's just incorporating or including what best it has to offer. Because through these sessions with our instructors and my colleagues or the other students, we're able to exchange ideas, discuss, and then we can go about a discussion from wherever they are, and we can just exchange ideas and learn from each other.
You're talking about, being skeptic, at the beginning. Where was the skepticism coming from?
Given that from my undergraduate, I had the traditional classroom setup, so I wanted to find something that would allow me to balance my work and also my studies. So going for a traditional quote-unquote degree or master's program where I have to attend classes either in the evening or during the weekend, it will not be tenable for me because sometimes perhaps my schedule is packed and I'm not able to attend those physical classrooms. So when I found that there's a university offering this opportunity to learn from wherever I am and whenever, I found that it didn't work for me. So I had to try it out.
I mean, you came from a setup whereby you used to go to a lecture hall.
Correct.
You used to meet your lecturers. You used to interact with your fellow students. Now you have gone into an environment whereby the three do not exist. Do you still feel like a student?
Thank you for that question. I will say that perhaps not that they don't exist entirely, but the mode that they exist in, because now it's more technology-enhanced learning. So we have virtual classrooms, or rather, the way we have these conferences, these video conferences. So it's like the traditional classroom, but just that allow me to say digitized. So I'm able to attend my lecture just from wherever I am without going to the classroom physically. And then the interactions we have with our students, the fellow students, it's very much basically like any other class together, just that we're doing it virtually now. Yes.
So can you see the other students?
Yes, through the video conferencing.
Through video conferencing,
yes.
yeah. Very well. At what point did you make that decision, to follow or to go to pivot towards Open Round?
Okay, thank you for that question. So also the kind of program that I'm pursuing that seeks to integrate aspects of technology and learning and basically instruction and learning. So it was a great avenue for me to pursue a degree at a university that is also incorporating this aspect. So it's more of like getting to test or go through the whole process to ensure that whatever I'm looking to have achieved by the end is actually attainable and can work. Yes.
Prof,
Yes.
You are given this assignment of ensuring that the open learning concept in Kenya becomes a reality, back in 2023 by President William Ruto. How has this journey been for you? And for context here, it's good to tell people that the Open University of Kenya is a public owned university.
Thank you for that. Yes, when we were chartered on the 3rd of August 2023, the President specifically asked us to focus on programs that are pro the people, that are market-driven. We started off with 7 flagship programs, including data science, cybersecurity, business, entrepreneurship, postgraduate diploma in leadership and accountability, postgraduate diploma in technology education. Those were our flagship programs, which helped us to enroll our first students in January 2024. The university opened its doors through our virtual setup to our 824 students. And that formed the basis of us to be proud that we are now established. We handheld these students through the process, and we are glad that the 8 of them and the 2 postgraduate diplomas graduated last year in November with their qualifications. That was one of the milestones that we are so proud of. The second journey is the establishment of the structures of the university. These include the council, the management board, the senate, the dean's committee, and other organs of the university that are required to be there for us to be able to run the affairs of the university. The third very important milestone is the development of additional programs. We now are proud to say we have 24 programs which are on offer, and about 6 which are under consideration at various stages for approval at the Commission as well as the Nursing Council. And these 24 programs have attracted over 15,000 students.
15,000
within a very short period of time, which I can break down from
2 years ago.
800 a few months ago to now talking about 15,000 students broken down into 4,000 students in undergraduate programs, about 1,900 in the masters, and others in the postgraduate diploma, and of course about 300 in PhD. And the rest to make out the 15,000 are the short course programs, which we call professional development programs or micro-credentials, which stack up to give you the degree required. The third or fourth important milestone which I want to talk about is the collaborations that we have established. We have now about 15 MOUs that we have signed with our partners to help us in the internship and attachment of our students. Because yes, we are fully virtual, but at the end of the day, we want our students to have the real life experience where they get attached or they interact with the industry collaborators.
Very well.
And those, yes.
Yeah, I remember when President William Ruto came here to commission or to charter this university. He talked about also developing programs that are going to uplift people, at the bottom of the pyramid, and he talked about the hustlers, bearing in mind that his administration came into power riding on the hustler concept. Have you figured out on how to bring them on board?
Yes, thank you for that question. Indeed, 67% of our programs are STEM-oriented. The rest are social sciences and arts. That's one area that we are complying in terms of the government's agenda for STEM-based education in 2029. These STEM-based subjects include, as I've already mentioned, courses like data science, cybersecurity, business and entrepreneurship, courses which we believe will empower the people to be self-employed rather than job seekers. That's one way of addressing the hustlers out there, the people who require to be empowered, to be given the skills to enable them to be self-reliant in the society. The other area is the short courses that we have established, quite a number of them. And these short courses, which we call micro-credentials, are geared towards reskilling, retooling the people in a very short period of time so that then they are more productive or they're able to get better employment at the various job stations.
Very well. Katusia, from where you see it, I mean, when you look at this concept of open learning, is this something that you'd want your friends to take up? Is this something that you can encourage your family members to take?
Thank you. So as I had previously highlighted, so far I have really enjoyed my journey at the Open University of Kenya. So I definitely vouch for this, and I would encourage any prospective student or anyone who would like to pursue a degree program, a diploma, postgraduate diploma program, or short course, as Prof has mentioned here, to go for it and try to see how they can upskill, they can develop their skills, they can just try to incorporate more and more into perhaps their career or anything that will be helpful for them to advance their knowledge or anything of the sort.
Help me understand this. I mean, we live in a country whereby internet connectivity is about 70%, and so you still have about 30% of Kenyans, outside internet connectivity. How would they access this form of education without proper access to internet?
Thank you. Perhaps allow me to say that we must acknowledge that this is indeed a potential challenge to a lot of people. So currently, perhaps they try to find accessibility or anything of the sort, and perhaps Prof.
Yes, I can weigh in on that.
How the Open University of Kenya is looking to resolve such challenges or anything that may hinder students from fully enjoying this new mode of learning.
And even before we hear that from Prof, because I know he's in a better position to respond to that, do you end up spending a lot of money on buying internet so that you can attend classes?
Okay, so I do require internet connectivity, but also one of the helpful things with this mode of learning, and also as I had highlighted the learning management system, some of this content, actually most of it, is available for us to download and access later, even offline. So you can have...
Also, you can also access that, the content offline.
Exactly.
Very well.
Yeah.
Prof, I'm sure you...
Yes, thank you for that question. The university is targeting at least 2 graduates per village in the next few years.
2 graduates?
2 or more, at least. Per village here, I mean per wards. We have about 50 wards in this country. So in the next few months, we are targeting to ensure that we have at least 2 graduates or 2 students per ward. How do we want to achieve that? Through the question you've asked. We're targeting opportunities for us to grow even the digital hubs or resource centers in the Huduma centers where students can go and access the resources at their own time with a very minimal fee that we will negotiate. Besides, we are talking about pre-loaded devices so that we can even address accessibility of education at the prisons.
Wow.
We are looking at that model where we know in the prisons internet may not be allowed, but preloaded devices where we have the content and even creating local area networks where that content will be residing for the inmates to access. And even at the end of the day, have a discussion among themselves and train themselves among themselves. The third...
Because we have to wind up.
Whitelisting. I'm talking about whitelisting of certain databases which are of education nature that you don't have to pay for the internet. And as I was mentioning about accessibility, recognition of prior learning is another area that the university is very strong on, so that you don't have to have succeeded in certain aspects in life earlier on for you to enroll in this particular program.
As we wind up this interview in 1 minute, I want to hear from each one of you. Where do you see, as a student, do you see more opportunities in this space of learning? And what is your message to young people who are watching this interview and asking themselves, how do I get onboarded?
Thank you. We must recognize that technology at the moment, and we have so many advancements. So technology is ever changing, and therefore we cannot ignore it. Even in the wake of automation and AI, we must try to keep up with the trends. Okay? So I think it's very important that as young people, we try to embrace it as much as possible. And I think the Open University of Kenya is at the forefront of ensuring that these aspects of technological and educational advancement are well incorporated. So by being at the Open University of Kenya, I'm very much in the loop of these new changes. So it is definitely something we must try to keep up with and embrace.
Very good. In 30 seconds, where do you see
Yes,
open learning concept going?
Thank you. This is a public chartered university and commissioned to offer higher education, quality higher education that is supported by the digital age. The future of university is digital, and the university is poised to offer an alternative, effective and quality higher education through a very progressive infrastructure that we have put in place, including artificial intelligence, generative AI tools, tutors which are supporting the lecturers to make decisions on how to intervene to ensure that the student's journey is very, very smooth.
Very good.
The future of the open learning in this country is at the Open University of Kenya.
Very good. At that point, we have to come to the close of this conversation. Thank you very much indeed for joining us tonight on KBC Channel 1.
Thank you so much
Very
for the
good.
opportunity.
I don't want to paraphrase more, but I just want to say what Prof. Omwenga has just said. The future of education is digital. My name is O'Brien Kimani. Thank you very much indeed for joining us tonight. We are taking you back to Broadcasting House, where Doreen Arangi will continue with the rest of the Prime Edition. Back to you in Broadcasting House.
Thank you, Brian Kimani, for that cogent discussion there on just technology in learning and how far we've come as a country in respect to that.